Well, it's been great getting to know some of the new Orange football assistants this year, and one of the guys that we'll be hearing a lot about throughout the course of the season is Syracuse offensive coordinator and running backs coach. He is Jeff Nixon. Jeff, welcome in. Thanks for spending a few minutes. And, I got to know, what has been this 6 months? What's this 6 months been like? It feels like it's been kind of a whirlwind around here with all this football stuff going on.
No doubt. First of all, just appreciate you having me on today. Really excited to be here and talk a little bit about what's been going on here the last 6 months and as we approach this upcoming season. But it's been exciting. All our guys have worked extremely hard. Through spring practice. Now we're in our kind of our next phase of summer training. Getting ready for training camp. It's been awesome, just seeing the way our guys have bought into, what Coach Brown has been implementing, our philosophy and, trying to create the culture that we want the program to have. And the guys have really bought in and have done a fantastic job so far. So, we're just trying to get better, every single day, every single week, as we approach the season.
Coach, the way Fran tells it, going back, you, him, added Elijah Robinson, some other guys on the staff, you have ties that date back a lot longer than 6 months or even 2 years, right? Tell me the origin story. How long have you and Fran known each other, and what is this relationship like between you?
We've known each other for a while. His mentor, was my, one of my really close friends in high school and college, Matt Rule. Fran played for Matt Rule at Western Carolina, and Matt was really had a big influence on his coaching career. Got coached with him at Temple, got him to come up there to Temple University, and then I met Fran at Baylor. Whenever I actually coached against Fran when he was at Western Carolina, when Coach Rule was there, I was at Chattanooga. So I remember him as a player, very good player, in the SoCon conference, all conference player. So I always knew of Fran, but got a chance to coach with him in 2017 and 2018 at Baylor under Matt Rule's first staff there. So that's where, we got a chance to know each other. And I met Coach Robinson there as well. He was there in 2017 before going to Texas A&M. And I was really excited, when Fran got when Coach Brown got the head coaching job here and, offered me the offensive coordinator position. It was something I wanted I jumped at, obviously, leaving the Giants, because I know what type of person and what type of coach Fran is going to be. And, just wanted to be here, get back into college, coordinating the offense. And I've always admired Syracuse from afar. I started playing at West Virginia my first 2 years in college, and we played Syracuse here, and then one of my main mentors, George DeLeon. I've coached, had the pleasure of coaching with George DeLeon at 3 different places. The longtime old school offense coordinator here under Coach Pasqualoni. So, I coached with George at Temple, at Baylor, and with the Miami Dolphins. So. This place has always been, again, a place I've admired. And, when Coach Brown offered me the job, man, it was too good to pass up.
And here you are and getting ready to go for the season. You said it, getting back to be a coordinator. As we got Jeff Nixon with us, he's the offensive coordinator. Will be calling the plays this year. You said you were at Baylor, you were with Fran, you were at Matt Rule. Matt gets the Panthers job. You go with him, but in a different role. What is it like for you now? One, I guess, to get back for college. You've been in the NFL for the last half decade or so, and 2, to get back to being the coordinator here.
No, it's exciting. It's refreshing. I like working with young men at the collegiate level. You really get a chance to mold them, kind of from the ground up, unlike, sometimes in the NFL, where I've spent 15 out of the last 18 years. So, it's refreshing to work with, some younger, student athletes, and just seeing their development and their growth is really rewarding. For a coach like myself, and just getting a chance to apply the football knowledge that I have, from all the great coaches I've worked with, throughout my 28 years of coaching, to be able to apply that knowledge and to be able to help our student athletes here, grow on the field of football, through again, some of the knowledge I've obtained is really rewarding.
No, I imagine, Jeff, because you worked a lot with the running backs here in the NFL the last few years. You coached Christian McCaffrey,
Yes.
And you coached Saquon Barkley. I imagine that's got to carry a little weight, right? When you're talking to a guy like Quinn Allen or the running back room, it's like, well, Saquon did it this way. I imagine guys got to listen up to stuff like that, right?
Yeah. You're a little bit more credible, and I've been blessed that I've had the opportunity to coach Reggie Bush, his first 1,000-yard season in Miami. I've coached LaShawn McCoy, Westbrook, in Philly, and then the last couple years, getting the chance to work with McCaffrey and Saquon has been a blessing in my life. Just to see how they work, their work ethic, and they've kind of made me look pretty good as a coach along the way.
Yeah, you feel pretty good when they get the ball in their hands that something good is going to happen more often than not, as it certainly has. As we got Jeff Nixon with us, and you tell the story about how you know Fred. The story of how your family is tied together with Kyle McCord and how this all came to be is kind of wild. How wild is this that, as far back as it goes, that it all comes together here with you getting to call plays for him this year?
It's actually crazy. I was talking to his dad the other day. And, we were just having the conversation. I was like, I kind of, when I first met Kyle, I was working with the Philadelphia Eagles, and I was living in South Jersey where he's from. And it just so happened my son is 1 year older than Kyle, and they played on the same youth football team, the Fleetwood Indians in South Jersey, for 4 years. I've known Kyle, he was on the same football and basketball team as my son. And I got to know, his father, Derek, and his mother, Stacy. We're all good friends along with my wife, Laura. We're all good friends. And, I told Derek, I always knew I was going to coach Kyle one day. I didn't know at what level, whether it was going to be college or NFL, but, I kind of had a feeling at an early age that he was talented when he was younger. He always played up. He was one of the tallest kids, when he was a youth. Always a really good athlete. So I was like, man, at some point I'm going to end up coaching him, if it's the NFL, college. And, obviously 12 years later, he just so happened to be in the transfer portal when ended up taking the job here at Syracuse. And all throughout my pro career, I've stayed in touch with Derek, his dad, and talked to him about maybe some of the things that he was experienced, in the recruiting process at Ohio State. We kind of just stayed in touch, over the years, and it just happened. Everything just kind of happened at once. He knows Coach Nunzio, our quarterback coach, who was a long time high school coach in Jersey. So he knew him. And then obviously Coach Brown kind of recruited him a little bit at Temple, back in the day. So we all kind of knew him, and, he had some interest in, playing in this offensive system. I recruited him a little bit at Baylor when I was there, and he was like in 11th grade. So he kind of knew our offensive system a little bit, like what we like to run. And, it just all came together, and we're really happy that, Cal decided, he had some options, decided to attend Syracuse.
Yeah. How much does it help this pre-existing relationship when it is, it's a 1 year situation that, hey, it's hit the ground running. It's now or never. The fact that you've known each other for so long, how much has that helped out? Offensive install, communication between you two, and everything you need to have success right out of the chute this year.
I think it helps tremendously. I think when you think about the quarterback position, like you really got to have trust between the quarterback and the head coach and the offensive coordinator and the quarterback coach. So like you all kind of got to be, in tune with each other, in order to have success on offense, especially when you got 1 year, you kind of want to have some chemistry, working together. So I think that really helps us, in this, short period of time. of us teaching Cal the offensive system, him knowing exactly what we want from him at the quarterback position as we approach the season. So I think that chemistry is really crucial, and the fact that we kind of know each other over the years, and we can share stories with each other about things that have happened in our lives, and he kind of understands where what I want out of the quarterback position. I think that's crucial.
As we got Jeff Nixon with us, offensive coordinator, running backs coach for the Orange, as we're getting there toward the first game. A little bit more than 70 days out right now until we get on the field with Syracuse and Ohio. We mentioned you've known Kyle for a very, very long time. There's somebody on the roster you've known for longer. You've known him all of the days that have existed for him. What was it like to get your son to transfer to the team here with Will coming in from Washington? Was this the easiest recruiting job ever, the hardest? What was that process like for you?
It's kind of in the middle. It's kind of in the middle. It's funny because when I was at Baylor as the coordinator, we offered Will. He played for Waco Midway, and he was coming out in 2020. He's a class of 2020, and but I told him he wasn't going to Baylor. I really had no interest in having having to coach him on the same team, and just going through that dynamic. I wanted him to make his own name, and I didn't want the pressure on myself of having to coach my son. But it's kind of come full circle. He's been around some really good college programs, and he's been coached well by some great men at Nebraska and Washington. And it just felt like it was the right timing. With us coming to Syracuse, my son graduating from Washington and wanting to kind of get back on the East Coast, and he has a really good relationship with Coach Fran. When we were at Baylor, Coach Fran wanted him as a defensive back, so he would come in 2-3 days a week, and he would go through DB drills with Coach Brown. So there's just so much familiarity, with myself and Coach Brown and some of the other people here in the organization, that it was just too good for my son to pass up. When he got into the portal and wanted to come play for Dad.
Yeah, and he'll be here. Coach Johnson's kid will be on the team too. Cool.
That's
so
right.
It's a cool little family environment going on here.
No
All
doubt.
right, Jeff. Let's flash forward. So now we're on August 31st. The season's here. You're calling the plays. What does a Syracuse offense look like now with you at the helm calling these plays this year?
Wow, I didn't even realize. So that's the date, huh? August 31st.
Yep. August 31st, 3:30. Not that we're counting down at all.
I know we've been focusing on just every day, every week. Like I said before, I can't believe August 31st. Man, it'll be here before you know it. But the offense, I mean, that we hope to. The main thing is, we hope to complement our special teams and defense. Coach Brown has a saying, man, we have to win every game by 1 point. That's all we got to do. So, whatever it takes offensively for us to win that game by 1 point, that's what we want to do. So we're going to complement our special teams and defense. I think we have an offensive system where, it's built in. If we need to throw the ball 50 times a game, we can throw it 50 times a game to win it that particular week. If we need to run the ball 60 times a game and grind it out, to win the game, the system is built for that. So, it's a balanced system. It's designed to spread the ball around, to all the skill positions. And again, I'm excited about, the student athletes who we have on offense, and hopefully it'll be an exciting year for the Orange.
Yeah, obviously a lot of focus is on McCord because he's the quarterback. A lot of focus is on the transfer portal just because there's so much crazy stuff that goes on with that. But, Jeff, before I let you go, I want to ask you about two guys that are coming back here this year, and one of those is LaQuinn Allen. Had a huge year last year as a sophomore. What do you have at your disposal in a lead back like LaQuinn Allen?
Oh man, I'm so excited about LaQuinn. What I've seen from him so far. He's probably one of the main leaders on our team. The kid just works extremely hard, and he's tough. He's everything you want in a running back. I mean, he can play on all three downs. He's smart. He's tough. He's physical. He can protect the quarterback. Probably has some of the best hands on the team. and then obviously he can run the football. So he's a complete player. It's great to have a guy like that in the backfield who you really don't have to take off the field, and who's one of the leaders on your football team.
And the other guy I want to ask you about here, Jeff, is a guy that I guess you're lucky to have, because he was unlucky last year. We all thought he was going to have a big year and then be in the draft until he got hurt on play 4, game 2. Well, what's Oronde Gadsden showing you in his return from injury, getting ready to presumably have yet another big role this year?
Wow, he had a great spring. We played him about half the game, half the practices in the spring, and man, you could just see. He's a big play waiting to happen. He's a very valuable piece of our offense. He's the guy that can block at the point of attack. Who can block in space, and then he's like a receiver on the field. With his size and his range catching the ball. He's a definite weapon. For us, for the tight end and wide receiver position.
Yeah, well, we're all looking forward to getting him back out on the field. I'm sure you're excited to use him as a weapon out there. All right, Jeff, I know you're taking it one day at a time here. It's 72 days till kickoff, not to get you nervous at all here.
Okay,
that's where we're at if you're checking them off one by one. All right, Jeff, really appreciate the time today. Thanks so much, and I'm sure we'll talk again as we get closer to that opener against Ohio. But thanks a lot.
No, thank you so much. Anytime.